Your savings are melting, quietly, every single year. And you did everything right, every month, money into something safe, a savings account, a fixed deposit, a government bond. So see what you actually make on these, against inflation. Not one of them keeps up. And even the bond, after tax, it slips back under. But here's the real trap, even when the gap is tiny, your money isn't growing. The number gets bigger. What it buys stays the same. More dollars, same life. That's not getting ahead. That's standing still. This isn't bad luck. It's a machine, and you're not the one it's built for. By the end I'll show you the one move the people getting richer make. I call it the flip. Jump straight there, and you'd miss the machine that makes it work. Your brain has a blind spot economists named almost a century ago, the money illusion. Meet Adam and Ben. Adam takes a 2% pay cut, but prices are flat. Ben gets a 2% raise, but prices rise 4%. Ask who's happier, and Ben wins every time. He sees a bigger number on his payslip. But do the math, they both lost about 2%. Ben got a raise, and got poorer. And that blind spot runs our whole retirement. Americans say they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. The average actually saved just $88,000. In India, it's the same gap, a 1 crore dream, a 28 lakh reality. And most of that safe money just sits as cash, over half of household savings in Japan, a third across Europe. So how badly does safe really do? Here's what 125 years of receipts say, and it's worse than you'd think. Put $1 into stocks in 1900, and it becomes $107,000. The same dollar in bonds? 268. In cash savings, earning interest the whole way? Just 67. And inflation alone lifted the price of everyday things to 37. So even cash that earns interest barely beat the melt, over a century and a quarter. Maybe that's ancient history. What about a modern, safe certificate of deposit? After tax and inflation, a 1-year CD lost real value in 15 of the last 20 years. The asset we're told is risk-free delivered. A return-free risk. And it doesn't even melt at the same speed everywhere. The dollar loses about 3% a year, the euro around 2, the rupee closer to 7. Here's what should stop you, the melt isn't an accident. It's the official target. Central banks want prices to rise about 2% a year, on purpose. So where did 2% come from? A New Zealand finance minister floated the number on live TV. Officials gave it real reasons afterwards, mainly a cushion against falling prices. Then the whole world copied it. Even working perfectly, that means cash earning nothing loses 2% a year. 35 years, and half its value is gone. A number one man floated on television now sets how fast your savings disappear. So why would anyone want your money to shrink? Follow the debt. Every big government has the same problem, a mountain of debt it can never comfortably repay. There are only a few ways out. Grow explosively, hard to do. Slash spending and hike taxes, political poison. Default outright, a catastrophe. Or, a quiet fourth option, pay it back in money that's worth less. Inflate the debt away. This has a name, financial repression. Hold interest rates below inflation, and a saver's loss quietly becomes a borrower's gain. Economists literally call it the liquidation tax, a silent transfer from savers to the biggest borrower of all. And it's not just theory. After World War II, the US and Britain melted away 2 to 3% of their debt this way, every single year. That's the same rate your savings are melting at right now, same machine, different decade. The biggest borrower today? Governments. America owes $39 trillion, Japan owes more than twice its entire economy. How far does the hunger for safe go? At its peak in 2020, the world held $18 trillion of bonds guaranteed to pay back less than people put in. Investors paid governments for the privilege of losing money, slowly. So that safe retirement number you're counting on, quietly, it's melting the entire time you wait. So if saving loses by design, who wins? Here's the flip. The winners do the opposite of saving. They don't hold the melting thing, they own the floating thing. Assets that ride the money upward, businesses, and homes. Since 1900, stocks returned about 5% a year after inflation. And since 1985, U.S. home prices rose 399%, while wages rose 254%. Look at who owns what, and the whole game is exposed. The poorest half of Americans own just 1% of the stock market. Their wealth is a home, a car, and cash, the things that melt. The richest own the businesses raising prices on everyone else, the things that float. Same inflation. Opposite side of it. And there's a second half to the flip, it's not just what they own, it's what they owe. Cheap, fixed-rate debt on an asset, a mortgage, lets inflation melt the debt for you, you repay it in future money worth less. But not all debt melts. A credit card's rate doesn't fall, it climbs. The very same bank paying you 0.38% on savings charges 21% on the card. In India, 42. The wealthy lock in cheap, fixed rates to own assets, everyone else gets caught on the other side of that ledger. That spread is the melt machine, and you're on the wrong end of it. So here's the board, finally in full. Idle cash is built to melt, quietly helping governments shrink their debts. It punishes the patient saver and rewards the owner. Now, this isn't a call to gamble, and it isn't financial advice. Cash still matters for emergencies, and assets can fall. It's just seeing the game you were already playing, and choosing which side of it you're on. So here's my question. After seeing all this, which are you? A saver, still trusting the safe number? An owner, holding assets that float? Or somewhere in between? Tell me below, and tell me what surprised you most. And if you want to see the hidden economics behind the money you spend every day, one clear breakdown a week, subscribe to Plainomics. Like, share, and I'll see you in the next one.